What's up everyone, it's Jan Boers, new video, and today I'm going to talk about 5 changes which I think Eurovision can think about for better times, for better future, for brighter future. Or maybe not. It's up to you to decide if you agree with me or not. As usual, let's talk. Alright guys, welcome back to my channel. I'm very glad you're here. If you're still here, and don't talk about regularity because like craziness, you know, I cannot do videos regularly, but I was thinking how to make something a bit different than just song reviews, performances reviews and so on. And I was thinking to do something like what if something's gonna change. And I was thinking about this a lot of time because I think Eurovision needs slight changes from time to time, and we see it's developing all the time with some new rules, with some new approaches. Even they are slight, they have a huge impact. For example, that the cancellation of live vocals, like basically it's not cancelled, it's optional. So now you can have live vocals and also you can have pre-recorded back vocals. There are some people who believes we can go even further. There are some people who wants to be more conservative, but definitely I think the conservative way will never work out. And I was thinking about 5 things which can change Eurovision for better. It's of course up to you if you're gonna agree with it or not, and maybe you have 5 different opinions, maybe 5 better ideas than I have. But let me talk to you also from the point of creative producer in general, a person who kind of stays behind the cameras and thinking about how to improve my workflow, the workflow of my projects, and also, you know, how they work, how can they be even better. And every single change you do in such projects, and that doesn't matter if you're Eurovision or something else, they have mostly 2 sides of coin, something which goes better and also a downside of it somehow. And this also counts for new changes I'm thinking about, because there is always something you need to understand behind the cameras. And that's something what will differ my channel from the other ones probably, because I will give you those kind of feedbacks also. Yeah, so are you ready? Let's talk about the first change. I think one of the biggest issues us producers have is the limited number of people on stage. Now it's 6 people on stage, including the artists and including anybody else. 6 people. So if you have, for example, 5 back vocalists and 1 artist, maximum. If you have 5 back vocalists and 3 dancers and artists, not allowed. And I think this can be changed. Of course, what a slightly change in here is because now back vocals can be pre-recorded, but not every country is supporting this option, especially because the live vocals sounds much better, much more accessible. It brings the second layer to something what it's called live show, to being really live, because with pre-recorded it somehow doesn't sound that well, and you will probably never find a way how to overcome this issue. Of course you can overcome it with dancers and different show approaches, but what I think, if we at least strengthen the numbers to 8, that would be perfect, and the countries should focus more likely on bringing the artist and the back vocals live or so on. But at least improving the number of people on the stage would create much more creativity, much packed acts, maybe even better looking, I don't know. It will be improvement, or maybe also in the combinations. It can help the countries who are deciding how this 6 will be structured to be structured even better. Imagine that you have 5 people band. You're very limited with the dancers or something like this. So maybe this will be a slight change. But where is the con of it? Well, the con is kind of easy. It's money. It's money and space. So first of all, in Eurovision background, imagine every single country brings 8 people instead of 6, and we are still counting like hairstylists, makeup artists, costume designers, directors, and so on. So each delegation is like 15 people, maybe 20. If you add 2 more people, you need to fit them somewhere. Also you need to travel them, and so on and so on. 2 people makes a big difference, and also it makes a big difference in budget, because it's different if you're paying for 6 people, all the travel costs, all the accommodation costs, and so on, and then you add 2 more people. For budget, this can be killing. But as I say, it's somehow not about the money, because Eurovision proved us, and like it's not just Eurovision, but in general, like ideas are not based on scale. The scale shows creative opportunities, but the most creative ideas are mostly also very simple. So maybe if we can somehow overcome this issue, would be also great for the whole Eurovision show. What do you think? Another topic which is mostly kind of brought by Norway delegation is to improve the sound part of Eurovision, which basically means vocals. Like, this is the topic which kind of is inevitable to talk about, and that's at which some point modern music is dependable on sound effects on voice, sound modulations, auto-tunes, and I don't know what everything else is there to work with in this kind of creative space of sound. Of course, we have pre-recorded tracks, so all the instruments are already pre-recorded. This is a practical use, and maybe also this is very practical and maybe more accessible for other people to join Eurovision, and to let another artist to join Eurovision is also this, to improve this space, let's say improve the space for having various kind of singing methods. So basically it means let's have Eurovision approached by the artists who are not that strong in singing, but maybe they are perfect performers. Basically this is it, you know. And also add some creative space how to play with vocals, some sound effects and so on, which cannot be reproduced by human, you know, by back vocals and so on. I think that to create a space where can coexist live back vocals, artificial pre-recorded back vocals still made by people, artificial sounds, artificial voice modulations, and so on. I was a lot against it, because I think for TV show in general, this is kind of a killing thing in the way that you can just clearly hear the difference between live back vocals and artificial ones or pre-recorded, because it like the depth is missing. But maybe this is something what I'm hearing, let's say by professional ear or my own subjective feeling, and I kind of changed my mind during it. Like, let's be open, let's give the space to artists in a huge scale, even more variety. We can do whatever, we can maybe have a music without singing at all. Why not? It can be experimental. It's up to each country what they will send in their 3 minutes time for perform. Only what I'm thinking in here, actually not only one thing, like 2 things. First thing is that it can be a hazard with the name of Eurovision to becoming even more and more show and less music contest, let's say, because after all, we say artist is winning, and artist means the one whose lead singer is kind of winning, and this is the biggest star. It can be a good change, wrong change, but it can definitely be a change of how we are thinking about Eurovision as a product, let's say. And the other thing is that when you're judging it, also by public, also by professionals, you should know. So if there will be the option, like even now, even there they are like pre-recorded or live vocals, there should be some pictogram, or each commentator should say, or each music should be branded by live singing live, or live singing with pre-recorded back vocals, also live singing with voice modulation, and so on and so on. Just to be clear that what we are judging, you know, to be kind of sure, because it's not just the music we are judging, it's also the performance, and by the performance the most important thing is the voice. Is this voice yours? Is this the voice of the artist's voice or its computer? Let's see, but I would be open to this change actually. I would be open with some tweaks. Why not? Let's try it. You can cancel such option anytime. This one will be a bit controversial or maybe even unrealistic, but in my opinion that would be very fine change for whole Eurovision, for whole speculations and everything, and that's regarding voting. There are many concepts. Again, I think Norway is very vocal about this, which I think is the only country who's very vocal, which is great that they clearly want to change Eurovision, maybe into their favors, maybe into the favors of the whole project. There was speculation that they would like to change the proportions between jury votes and public votes. I'm not the big fan of it because I think the sweet balance 50-50 is perfect, but what it's not perfect and what I don't like at Eurovision at all is that basically two performances are judged, not one as you think. It's two performances. You have a jury performance and then you have a public performance, and then the people are like, why didn't they vote for this guy? The performance was amazing. Yes, but maybe yesterday it wasn't. And I was there. I know it. I can clearly say that those performances and artist's approach and all of it, it can very differ from show 1 for jury and for show 2 in grand final or semi-final for public. And this is a big thing because it's not kind of fair. It's not judging the same performance. It's basically like judging the rehearsal performance with different atmosphere than the main show and so on and so on. So it would be great if we will find a solution, or if Eurovision or the organs around Eurovision, whoever is responsible for this will merge those 2 days into one. And this would be a huge, fundamental, basically the biggest change in the change Eurovision needs. It comes with the problem, how would you control the regularity of the votes? How would you control if there is no corruption? And I think there comes with another twist including in this third change. And that's also when you have 5 jurors, there should be somebody delegated from another country or from EBU or from somebody who's there overseeing the whole process from the very beginning. Of course, you can stop corruption by this. If there will be country who would like to corrupt, they will find about the other country and their judges and they will corrupt them. You barely can do anything about it, but you can do it backwards somehow, I don't know. But this would be perfect because I think it's not fair at Eurovision at all that 2 performances are judged. And they can differ a lot and it creates a lot of confusion. And it's very hard to communicate, especially after those new era of Eurovision where the communication, I think, it's a bit worse than it was before. A bit, as it seems, and maybe also the challenges are much bigger. But if there should be just one change, it would be this in my eyes. What do you think? Fourth point, which is much more transparency. As you can see, this is not in past years, in my opinion, the biggest thing at Eurovision somehow, because there are still so many speculations, especially because of voting, especially because of some corrupted voting and so on, and there is never a result of what happened, you know. So we remember 2 years ago, it was 2 years ago, when some countries was recalculated their votes because there was some problems, but it never was communicated what happened, how it ended up, was somebody punished for it, like what happened. Like, we are working on the biggest show in the world, basically. I'm not working at it anymore, but you know what I mean. This is the biggest show in the world. It's the public broadcaster's show, and it should be as much transparent as possible. Even sometimes the poor and whole transparency probably not that good, because it's very hard to communicate even like very easy stuff which we deciding to do, and how would you, like, every single detail you need to comment. After all, this is our duty as a public broadcasters to bring transparency, because after all we are paid by public, you know, and they deserve the answers. And I think in general, this should be much more improved, much more clear, maybe even much more like assured. Like, hey, we are here, we are doing this, and this is why we want to do it, and we like to do it this way, like to have strong statements, you know? I think everything is kind of in the midst of a little, it still gives you the space for political thinking and so on, which is unnecessary, I think, because as much as I know Eurovision environment, it's very nice, very polite, even inside, and everybody works 100% hard to make happen their dreams, whatever dreams they are, and whatever opinions and options they have to use to show yourself, to behave to the others, and so on. But it's a very awesome environment, and to keep it, and also to kind of play against these speculations and people who always try to find something bad and reduce those numbers, would be great if we just do the much proper communications towards the public. Even sometimes the answers are not what you expect to be. Yeah, this is also the downside, kind of, to be very transparent, but I think such project as Eurovision should be as transparent as possible. How many times I did say transparent? A million times. Last one. Alright, this is the fifth one. This is somehow appeared in my head for many times. I never communicated it before, and this is something I really would like also to know your opinion, because this is a fundamental change, and I cannot even tell you that I'm a huge super fan of this change, but I'll tell you why I'm thinking about it. And that change is the hosting city should be decided in advance and not by the country who's winning it is hosting. Does it make sense what I just said? I think so. I know it hears insane. It's completely new concept. It's like more like football and or ice hockey or some another big event where the place where it should be played, it's pre-decided in years advance, so the cities can prepare, they can prepare the infrastructure, they can fight for it, they can bring much more opportunities, and they don't need to do it in action half a year before they need to start to producing it physically, the show, which is basically nowadays thing. Like somebody is winning, for example Sweden, they got some bits from other cities which want to host it. They have like 3 months period to do it, then they will decide a city. It's already 9 months to the finals, you know. It's very short time for producing such a huge event, and then all of it, it's shortened, so even some countries can do it perfectly. I think there can be countries who can also prepare themselves much better, and it comes with also one more thing, because there are also countries who don't want to win Eurovision. They just don't want to win it, in sake they will host it after winning. Of course, this is something you cannot really plan, but in the heads is something like, please don't win it. We don't have budgets for it. We don't have infrastructure for it. We don't have this. Of course, somehow, after all, they will always manage, and it's some kind of prestige to win Eurovision and then host it. But also, if we completely change this approach, and it wouldn't be the winner's prestige to host it, and it would be pre-decided, like we know that in 5 years it will be here, there, they can prepare everything around it, and also there won't be this kind of pressure of not to winning it. Maybe more countries will approach Eurovision even better if they know that there is no pressure of winning it, and they can bring whatever they want, however they want, and maybe bring more quality into the show. And also this kind of speculation will be out. Maybe it would be more like Olympics or like football, you know, more like much more funnier, and the seats will be bidding in advance. The countries can maybe, I don't know, like maybe this is very crazy idea in my head, but actually I think it would be awesome to do it this way, you know, to somehow be sure that we change this concept. And I think actually that this can completely change approach for the whole Eurovision for many countries. Anyway, we kind of have it in Liverpool like that, right, already, so we found out it works. So maybe it wouldn't be such a huge issue to do it. But that's all of my ideas, all of it, well, not all of them, come on, I have bigger brain than this, but this is all ideas for this video, so I'm very curious if you agree with them. Write me in the comments below. Of course, if you like the video, give thumbs up and subscribe to the channel if you like it. And of course, write me down another ideas, what you would like to change, or if you have any questions, maybe you can inspire me also, because I can give you this backstory from behind how the producer can think it from the perspective of budget, of creativity, of whatever else is going on behind the cameras, you know, to give you another stuff, maybe even more transparency into something which you think it's shady. It's my role to do it, it's something what I enjoy, and I'm very glad I'm back with my videos. Yeah, I really hope you enjoyed it too. It was a pleasure to me, so thank you for watching and see you next time. Bye.